now we turn to what is known federally and provincially as question period. Now, one of the rules or one of the stipulations in GTAC hosting this event is that it gets the right to pose the first question. So, the executive have in fact formulated what I regard as a very good question. It's a little multi-layered, so I may have to repeat it. And,
goody.
Yeah.
2 minutes?
So, yes, two minutes for me, eh? Okay.
Bob, where's your orange piece of paper?
Where's my orange piece of paper?
Rasho's right
It's mine right here. He's almost out of time.
Okay, so here goes. As the provincial deficit began to soar as a result of the 2008 to 2010 recession, it should have been clear that the provincial government would move to cut public services and the jobs and wages of public sector workers. In March 2010, the government announced plans for a 2-year public sector wage freeze. This will mean a real and permanent cut in members' wages after inflation. The government also invited public sector unions to quote-unquote consult on how to implement the freeze. So the Greater Toronto Area Council is asking each candidate to answer the following questions. 1. How well do you think OPSU has prepared our membership to fight the pay freeze and defend public sector jobs, the public services we provide? That's the first question. Second is, could OPSU have done better, and if so, how? Thirdly, what should our strategy be as this fight continues over the next 2 years? And finally, what role will you play if you are elected president or first vice president treasurer? Shall I repeat the questions there?
No, 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Yes, no, yes, yes.
Maybe in view of that, we might make it 5 minutes. What do you think? No? 2 minutes? 2 minutes?
Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So we'll start with Nancy. It is rather long.
Okay, it is long, and anyway, here we go. How well do you think OPSU prepared our members? Well, I guess the answer to that is I don't think we prepared our members very well at all. As I've been around the province the last couple of weeks, and as I've received email from folks around the province, they said this: we thought we were coming to the Rainbow Hotel, or the Rain Tree Hotel, or the Double Tree Hotel, or whatever it was called, to talk about a strategy to push this corporate agenda off the table. And that it was a surprise for folks when they arrived to find out that they were going to be asked to take 0 and 0, or in fact, what would be palatable enough for you to take nothing? It was a strange question to be asking the membership. We could have done better. We could have actually told you that the government was proposing that you take a 0 wage freeze, and we were going to invite you to the hotel to talk about that. We did that in Region 5. We had a presidents and activists meeting. We gave people the heads up of what was coming that day. I think the strategy is quite clear on 2 fronts. First of all, the membership in the locals need to be mobilized. We've got folks who are doing train-the-trainer sessions. They could be doing lunch and learns, getting out the message about what's really happening and what's really going on. Again, I've said to you that federally and provincially, we have 2 opportunities in front of us to elect a different government, so that we have a different partnership to talk to and different people to talk to, and elect people who are working with us, who care about what we care about, and who are willing to put that agenda forward. And my role, my goodness, my role won't be any different than it is today. I have been out at every single rally and every single event that's been held across this province. I've organized half of them, for heaven's sakes. We have to be on the ground. We have to be in front of the employer. We have to be fighting back all the time, and that's going to be the continued role I play. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. Nancy. Next is James.
Well, the first question, how well has OPSU, I think we were prepared for the fight in this one here. We were given an opportunity to sit there and engage with an employer who really wasn't giving us an option. They basically said, if you're going to come out here, we're going to do this, this, and this, and if you don't listen to what we're going to say, we're going to do it anyway. This was an opportunity for us to sit there and hear what these people had to say, to sit down with them. Now, they talked about a consultation process. Well, that's what it was. They consulted with us. They didn't say what we're going to do. We didn't really have a say in it anyway. It was their decision, not ours. We went along for the ride, so to speak. Could OPSU have done better? Well, that's kind of a trick question. Sure, we could have done better. We can always do better. We can, but it's what can we do that's going to actually work and be efficient at that point in time. At that point in time, we were doing everything we could to keep the members organized and to let people know what was going on. And the government was spinning out they were doing their spin doctoring at the same time too. What should the strategy be? Again, well, I'm not sure. I think of this one here. Listen to what the members have to say, but I'm not sure walking away is a good right idea. Because we looked at a court challenge. What happens if we don't go to the table and talk to these people? Now, it's kind of dwindled away now from what I've heard lately, but the reality of it is, if it's going to be in a situation where we walk away from the table, we come back to it later on, well, at least we got some kind of a challenge in a court case against the Constitution. That's important as well, too. And what role will I play, the last part of it? Well, keeping involved and actually working with the membership as best I can. I heard feedback from my members in my region and across the province. I spent a lot of time in Toronto. I talked to people as well. They want us involved, and they don't want to sit there and want us to walk away and just let them do what they're going to do without some kind of a fight. So I think we need to put the fight on. Thanks.
Thank you, Jamie. Next is
Well, how well we prepared the membership for the fight. The government sprung that on us. We got called down to a hotel, all the labor leaders in Ontario. We get there. The employer groups are there, plus the media. They sandbagged us. So then the Premier calls, wants to meet. So I sent an email out to every steward, or every steward in the province. I think I remember, whoever, the phone blast thing. And it was Sue Brown's idea, and it was a great idea. So I said, if you got suggestions, email me back or phone me. I spent 4 days reading them. So I think I'm pretty much in tune with the members. To go to that table, to refuse to go, would have been irresponsible. You get elected as president to look after all the interests. So we had to protect ourselves in case we had to go to court. We had to protect ourselves in case they went out and said, OPSU didn't show up, so we're going to impose it. Our members would have been furious. So we went down, we fought it off. 78% of our contracts are getting raises. I'd say that's pretty darn good. When you compare it to before, it's just as good before as it was before the zeros came around. So Nancy wasn't in those meetings. I was. I'm the one that took the shit and abuse from other board members for being there. And I did what was right for the union, what was right for the membership. Every other union in the province was there. We had no choice. We needed to show up and be there to protect our members' interests and the interests of the union. Thank you.
Eddie, sorry. That's okay.
I'm sorry, Region 5.
Swinging region, Eddie. Apply the stabilizer.
So, it's always nice to have a little levity to these events. What should we do? I mean, a lot of you don't know my background, some of you do. I come from the construction industry. I was a laborer, and then I moved I was a tower crane operator. I was in the Hoisting Engineers Union. And we had a lot of different labor disputes during that time. So what would we do? And Smokey's right. You go to the table and you listen. But we also watch. What did the other trade unions do? They went to the table, and what did they do? They heard zeros. You know what they told the government to do? Well, I know we read the statement of respect, so I'm not going to tell you what they told them what to do. But I'm telling you what trade unionists do. I know what I would do, and I'll tell you, a lot of you were in that room when I sat up, and I'll tell you what corrections told them to do. Take your zeros, and you know what? Do what you want with them. But we have a bargaining process in this union. We're not going to wholesale the process. We're not going to piecemeal it and bring it all into one so that you can just sort of give us all zeros. And that's what I say we should have done.